Good morning, good morning, good morning. TCOM Rebel. It's still morning here because it's 11:36 a.m. Been a little bit busy this morning, so normally I'd try and do the live stream a little bit earlier to let you know what's happening in the market. But I've just been a little bit busy doing some other stuff at the moment, so I thought, well, I better get this done before it's too late. All right, so this morning I want to. I'll just change screens. Alright, so this morning I want to have a quick update on the markets. We'll go through some news and there's a couple of articles I want to talk about. So we'll go through that. So the first thing, let's check out what's happening in the market. That's not what's happening in the market. Let's move back again. Okay, so I'm on coinlib.io. I'm really liking this site. Go to it every day. Okay, so let's run down the top 10. Bitcoin, $6,734. Ethereum, $518. XRP, Ripple, 54 cents. Bitcoin Cash, $890. EOS, $10.91. Litecoin, $99.18. Stellar, 23 cents. Cardano, 16 cents. IOTA, $1.19, and Tron rounds out 10 at 4 cents. So overall, it's looking good this morning. We got Bitcoin back up to 6,700, which is about 4%. And then we've got what do we got next? IOTA. Alright, so basically across the board we've got Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin. They all did really well today, so I'm pretty excited about that. Now, let's have a look at what's going on with why. So, I had a quick look on the news. So, we're talking about a $13 billion price spike in 1 hour. Well, that sounds pretty exciting, but I'll break that down. So, we'll have a quick look at the market overall. So this is another view where we're at right now. BTC up about 4%, ETH at 4%, Ripple 2.7, Litecoin 3.91. So this sort of breaks it down. So this is pretty good. I've got a little bit of red here in some of these other smaller ones, but most of the market is, even Bitcoin Cash is up 5%. So that's pretty good. So basically the news on this is just saying there was a bit of a spike, which happened pretty quickly. Now, I actually did see this. It's a pretty handy function if you click on, like, for example, Bitcoin. This is on coinlib.io. So you click on Bitcoin, and it'll actually break down with the charts. It's quite good, I find it, with the way it actually loads the volume data. So I'll just wait for this to load, and we'll have a quick look at it. Alright, so as you can see, we've got this massive spike here. So basically it was at 6,486, and the volume was about 200, 300,000. Not much volume at all happening. And then all of a sudden, now these are 5-minute increments. So at 225, we had 16 million volume. Okay. Now, I think that's dollar volume. So, yeah, $16 million, basically volume. And then after that, 7.5, 3.8. So there was quite a lot of volume coming through. And then basically because of that huge, those huge orders. Now, basically, unless you were there at the time or on the actual exchanges, or you are an exchange, you would see where those orders come from. It could have been just one entity or just a few people buying, but it wouldn't have been too many because it happened in a 5-minute period where $16 million got bought. So essentially, this price went from around 6,500 right up to 66, 67, and then it peaked around nearly 7,800, and it's come back now to around about 6,700. But this was really good. This is a good sign And what we just need more of this. And once there's a few more of these big players that come into the market, then it gives everyone else the confidence that we've got another move happening. So yeah, look, I mean, let's put it this way, markets don't stay flat, all right? So they don't stay flat because there's no money to be made when the market's flat. So the players, people who have influence, people who can actually do what they, make money out of the market, they will keep the market moving in either up or down because they can make money. Now that there's futures, they can make money on the way down. So let's have another look at this. I wanted to show you this volume. This is a pretty cool little feature on CoinLib. Right. So we've got, let's wait for this to load, come through. Alright, so the breakdown here, this is your total volume of all crypto markets. And this is your money flow. I really like the way they've got this graphed out. So now yesterday I was looking at this, the Japanese yen was actually more. There was more money from Japanese yen going into Bitcoin, but today in the last 24 hours it's the US dollars been going into Bitcoin. So from what you can see here, they've calculated 1.71 billion is flowing into Bitcoin, which is this big green bar here. And Japanese yen, we can see that 1.69 billion, so it's just a little bit more US dollars going in than Japanese yen. Okay, so that's interesting. Now also with Tether, you can see that Tether into Bitcoin, 579 million. So this will be people who have Tether in exchanges like Bittrex, and they'll be buying a Bitcoin and trading. So that gives you an example of actually dollars, both Japanese yen, US, and then Tether going into Bitcoin. And then from Bitcoin, these are you basically got Ethereum, so it's going to Bitcoin and flowing into Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, and I think the next one down the list is Litecoin. So at the moment looking at Bitcoin, Litecoin, Dash. Yeah, and the other money flows is into EOS and Ethereum. And you can sort of see the breakdown here. So hopefully this is a really good charts. And then if you just see, this is the last 24 hours just in Bitcoin overall. So you can see how it goes into Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, EOS, Litecoin, and Dash, and by volume. So that gives you an idea, and this is just the market cap across the top 20 cryptos. Okay, so pretty good. And then you got the volume, which is 46% volume is Bitcoin at 4.23 billion. Alrighty, so I just thought I'd quickly show you that because it's handy to see what I do like about it is this money flow and exactly where it's coming from, and where we're influenced from, because sometimes it could be the exchanges in US, and it could be exchanges in Japan for the Japanese yen. So this is very interesting. Okay, so what I want to talk about is two articles I came across. This one, even though it's an older one, I think it's worth bringing up. I think it was March the 10th. Sylvain Ribes, I think, is his name, on Medium. So you can check this out. So basically, he's talking about chasing fake volume. So he was writing this piece, and he just wanted to, do some research on it, but he ended up finding out something that he didn't expect. So he was basically, the main thing in this article, he's talking about how that he believes 3 billion of all crypto assets volume is fabricated, and how OK Exchange, the #1 rated by volume, is the main offender, with up to 93% of its volume being non-existent. Okay, so then he goes on to talk about what he was trying to do, and just seeing how you can move the market with maybe $50,000 US. And there's a thing called slippage. Basically, it's when you go to sell, but if there's not enough, the best way to explain it is, if you go to buy or sell, is your order going to be completed, right? Is there enough on the order books? Is there enough there that is going to complete your order and execute in one transaction for that price, or is that price going to slip? So for example, if you're buying and it's you're buying $50,000 worth, and the price that you're paying only goes up a little bit. Let's say it goes up 1%. Okay, so that means that there is a lot of sell orders in the system, and when you place your buy order, there's enough sell orders there to actually meet the demand of what you have. Okay, obviously if you put, like for example, that Bitcoin this morning with the 16 million volume in that 5-minute period, once that goes into the order books, if there is not enough sellers in that order book at that time, okay, the price will rise because there's no other orders at that price level. So people who have placed their sell orders at a higher level, they will then get executed because that's reached that price. That's the only orders left to do. So this is what slippage is about, and what it means is that if you've got a substantial amount, you're either buying or selling, you're going to move that market depending on how liquid or illiquid it is. So this is what he's talking about, and then he's basically got data and he's collated it, and the breakdown of this is he's talking about OKEX. Now I've never traded on that exchange. And he's talking about GDAX and Bitfinex, and he compares all of them. And essentially, the big ones like Bittrex, what was interesting, he said that from his research that Bittrex was very solid. There was hardly any slippage. Then he showed like these charts here from, I think this one came from OKEX, I think, yeah, OKEX. And in this particular chart, basically you can see this volume here, the way it oscillates like this. So this is like totally fake, unless there's some other issue for this. This is like fake volume data, okay, and this is what he's talking about. And he said it's, volume data should look completely erratic and different and strange because it's very random versus this up here. Alright, so that's what he was talking about. And then how bad is it, right? And he's worked out that it's between 90, 95, 99% fake. So it's quite amazing. And I mean, look, I have heard other similar things to this, but the data is quite amazing. So he would basically put in the different crypto, work out what they say the volume is, but he would then calculate what the slippage would be. And then what he discovered was that the volume is no near where they say it is. And what's funny, there was the follow-up to this, is a lot of these ones, these exchanges went from mainland China. And if you remember, I think this goes out to Tricky Hunter. He put me onto this. Basically, he said that the ones, if you may remember, in the news, right, they were coming down hard on the exchanges in China, right? And so what happened is all those exchanges left and started, setting up in Hong Kong and other places. And the reason they, like this one's here, Hyobi and I think OKEX, they basically set up shop somewhere else. And the reason was because they were essentially doing all sorts of things, like putting fake volume in there. And you might think, well, what's the problem with fake volume? Well, what happens is you think that there's actually other sellers and buyers out there, and that you can get, you can go in and put your large order in, and it's going to get filled and not a problem. But what happens is it doesn't, and you might get, basically the price will shift on you, which is the slippage, and you're going to essentially lose out in the long term. So this is some of the names. I mean, these other ones he's talked about here. HitBTC, he said, was an issue, and also Binance, some of the Binance stuff, which is another exchange that opened up. Now, I do like Binance. It's one of the really good trading platform. However, you just got to be aware that they're running, possibly running fake volume, because when you put your buy orders and they should execute and they don't. So it's very interesting about it. They do say that Binance don't allow things to do with their API, which could have something to do with it. So yeah, there's a few things that we're not, we don't have all the information on. He did say though that the Bittrex is genuine, and like some of the other ones, definitely some of the ones out of China that have relocated have got a lot of fake volume. So yeah, it's very interesting because the idea is if you've got volume, you will go to that marketplace, that trading platform and trade. But if they don't have volume, you don't want to go there because there's no one to trade with. And so that's why, there's that incentive for them to lie about the volume and get people onto the platform. Okay, so yeah, just thought I'd bring that up, something worth thinking about if you're trading. Now, that's not all doom and gloom, it's just something to be aware of. All right, the next one I want to talk about is top 11 decentralized cryptocurrencies. And this little article, Crypto Stash, put this article out. So I don't know if you've ever used a decentralized crypto exchange before. Some are terrible, and like a terrible user experience. It's fun. It's to find a normal exchange that works really well. That's hard to do. And when you do find one, it's great. But when you go to decentralized exchanges, they're a lot more complicated. The user interface isn't very good, and also they might have low volume. So there's difficulties. But this is a list of a few. IDEX, that one's been out for a while. I think I've actually got that one. I haven't tried out Radar Relay. Then there's one called Cyber Network. Hodl Hodl, haven't used that one. Oasis Dex, Bancor, Waves Platform, BISC. I did try using BISC. To be honest, I just couldn't even the trading platform that I just couldn't make it work at all. So maybe other people have had more success with that. Haven't used AirSwap. A lot of these are using your MetaMask, Ledger, and Trezor to interact with these sites. Now, I like the idea of the minimum MetaMask. I mean, if you're Ledger or Trezor and you can interact and not share your private keys, that's perfect. BitShares and CryptoBridge. Now, a few people use CryptoBridge. I've used it. It was working when they did a upgrade. I have not been able to successfully use CryptoBridge since they updated to their latest version, and I just can't get it working at all. So these other people have no problems at all. I've tried multiple computers. I've tried all sorts of things. So yeah, comment below if you've had any problems with CryptoBridge. And let me know too if you've done any of these other ones, like this one's BitShares. CryptoBridge is based on BitShares, that's why it's very similar. I think they've just got a lot of people coming on their platform that are trying to handle that. This one here, I haven't checked this one out, called Toddle. Looks like it's in beta, so I haven't tried that one out. Altcoin.io, looks like a new one's coming, and then there's the Binance one, IDEX, which is coming out, and Barter. So there's a few coming out. So yeah, if you haven't checked out these before, they are pretty tricky. If you can sort of interact with them without sharing your keys, and most importantly, when you do interact with them, make sure that they are the correct market themselves, because sometimes they have, like EtherDelta had basically like an attack on it where you thought you were on EtherDelta putting in your details, but you weren't. Someone else was actually getting your information at the time, and all they want is your keys, your private keys, so then they can then move your funds and take them out of your account. So you just got to be careful with that. Always make sure you're on the announcements, whether it's Telegram or Discord for these channels. That way, if there is an issue, you do, and make sure it comes from the admin. So that should cover it there. I'm going to try and test out some of these ones. I'll go and check out IDEX and see what more coins are back on there at the moment. But it all depends on what coins you've got and what you're trading. At the moment, I've got a few Masternode coins, so not every exchange has those. And yeah, but I'm going to check out some of these other ones and see what they got listed. So I thought I'd share that one with you today. So I think that's it for today. If you've got any questions, put in the comments below. That'd be great. And yeah, have a good day. All right, I'll see you later.